there, and welcome to Apple World. Usher emerging to point fingers at Diddy and uncover him for supposedly doing an unlawful things to him some time ago. As you all presumably realize, Usher had to live with Diddy as a kid, and there have been hypotheses that Usher could purportedly be one of Diddy's casualties. Well, in addition to the fact that Usher supposedly affirming is that Diddy purportedly got things done to him. Yet he is additionally uncovering that Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, went well beyond to safeguard him from Diddy as well. Assist him with getting away from Diddy's grip. The narratives Usher is telling have never been heard for, so you all need to be miserable for this yet. Usher is singing like a canary. Furthermore, not entirely set in stone to bring Diddy down for the last time. Diddy is on a descending twisting you all, since his dull mysteries are beginning to become visible, and they are not pretty. There have been hypotheses for a really long time that Diddy is a troublemaker, and that he has harmed such countless individuals previously and supposedly is as yet doing likewise, yet a few things are disentangling before long, before our eyes, and Diddy is presently formally being scrutinized by the federal authorities for purportedly being engaged with this raised old subjects of how he has been blamed for supposedly saying numerous individuals, particularly little fellows, for a long time. And get this, the federal authorities have been watching out for Diddy for quite a long time, and not just due to the case explo. Illicitly, the FBI has been searching for him for something like 11 years for purportedly saying different young man, as per a court recording that was documented in 2013 during a post-op interview meeting with government examiners. James Roseman, the music supervisor turned Kingpin, was supposedly interrogated regarding the inclinations of performers, including whether Sean Diddy Coleman was having close connections with underage young men, as per a U.S. locale court. An investigator then got some information tie-in about performers' cozy inclinations, including yet not just Holmes having close connections with underage kid. While the names of the alleged casualties were not delivered to safeguard the character of the casualty, many names have been thrown in with the general mishmash, including Usher, for quite a long time. Fans have communicated worried that Usher may be one of the numerous young men that Diddy was blamed for harming on the grounds that Usher lived with Diddy for some time while was getting going in the business. Usher was endorsed by Diddy's companion L.A. Reid as a youthful youngster, and when Usher was 13, L.A. Reid sent him to live with Diddy so he could get acquainted with everything from Diddy, who was at that point a power in the business. This ought to have been a significant warning, considering the bits of gossip that have been circumventing about Diddy even in those days, and the sort of way of life that he lived. Diddy was at that point scandalous for tossing a few significant gatherings that were reputed to be obscure. Best case scenario, it was unquestionably not the kind of climate that a 13-year-old youngster ought to have been in. I mean, the principal warning ought to have been the way that Diddy's home was alluded to as Puffy Flavor Camp, since what in heaven's name is that name? And when you toss in the gatherings and the gossipy tidbits about Diddy enjoying Usher somewhat, an excess of, well, I surmise you all can see where this is going, for reasons unknown attendant. T despises discussing his involvement in Diddy while he was in Puffy Flavor Camp, and it's sort of a given injury. He has just freely spoken about it on a few events, and he had no good thing to say during those times. On one event, he was given some information about Diddy and his experience living with Diddy, yet the questioner noticed that he was really awkward when the point was shed to what it resembled for him. Once upon a time, the questioner noticed that Usher turned out to be shockingly controlled. I need to save some stuff from my book one day. He said, I'll put it this way. There was a ton of sex. The main other time that he truly talked about it was during a meeting with Howard Harsh, and despite the fact that he made an effort not to meticulously describe the situation, the little he said sent warnings waving Puffy's place was like just loaded up with chicks and organizing like constant. No, not actually. I mean, except for hello, it was interesting. I had an opportunity to see a few things, no doubt except for you 13, you went there to see the way of life, and I saw it, and it was, in any case. I couldn't say whether I could enjoy and comprehend what I was doing in any event, seeing as it was wild. What I said is that there were extremely inquisitive things occurring, and I wasn't guaranteed to comprehend them to make things shadier. The attendant asserted that Diddy constrained him to conceal the subtleties of what was truly happening away from his folks. So his folks didn't have any idea what the deal was with their child. They had barely any insight into this gracious I was living it up. You understand what I mean? This was peculiar since, supposing that nothing unusual was occurring, how could I constrict Usher to conceal what was going on from his folks? Definitely, that was a wide range of obscure attendant, even guaranteed that he could never leave his own youngsters alone in that sort of circumstance. And that is the means by which you realize that a few extremely terrible things occurred during that time. Currently, would you at any point send your child to Puffy? Camp Damnation, no see then. At that point, there's the video where Diddy asserts that he and Usher used to rest in a similar bed. It's my sibling here. From the very beginning, we used to awaken, and I mean damn respite, yet some time ago, when he was like 10 and I was somewhat more established, his more seasoned sibling, and we used to battle about the over-the-iced drops. You understand what I'm talking about. Or, on the other hand, the time he said this ain't for any other person with you. Take that time, kid. I see you doing vegetables in the kitchen, eating all my grain. Diddy's previous protector, Uncle Gene, has likewise sort of upheld this in a meeting where he uncovered that many individuals in the business knew that Diddy felt weak at the knees over young men. However, they just held on and watched him have his direction. Every one of these industry individuals realized that Diddy been behaving this way and doing this, and attempt to draw in different men into acts with him. There was story that he was attempting to get Chris Earthy colored. There's anecdotes about. Those little fellows that he had a gathering B5 or something to that effect, attempting to get them. Yo, it's a great deal of stories. This circumvents in this industry about not simply him, others. This carries us to the present, and how fans are raising attendance name once more. And it seems to be Usher is at last fed up with conveying the stuff for such a long time, since he just separated and, besides the fact that he discussed the things that happened to him, yet he likewise guaranteed that Diddy's ex Kim Porter attempted to save him from Diddy Kim Porter, and Diddy began dating in 1994, which strangely is the very year that Attendant was sent by Reed to live with Diddy Usher. It was guaranteed that Kim purportedly saw how Diddy treated him, and she attempted to stop it, but sadly, she couldn't do much since she was as much a casualty of Diddy as Usher was. We definitely realize that Diddy used to put his hands on Kim Porter, and he once hit her so severely that he wound up letting it be known. An article revealed that occasion, saying Diddy's sweetheart Kim Porter was left with a wrecked nose after the couple contended on Combs' yacht in Saint-Tropez. Combs flew in an expert plastic specialist from Eva. After the mishap, Porter has since guaranteed that she hurt her face after she hit her nose against the table. Yet one thing about Kim is that she generally retaliated and gave as much as she kicked. And she was retaliating at Diddy's protector before long. Gene Bargan talked about when Kim retaliated, and Diddy wound up in the medical clinic one evening. When they were at home at Kim's home on 110th the road, he needed to, put his hands on her in the incorrect manner, and Kim took one of those court botches and tore his wrist and hit her course, and when she did that, he needed to rush over to St. Luke's medical clinic, so Kim battled back at Diddy. And in the process, she supposedly attempted to save Usher from Diddy by safeguarding him and declining to allow Diddy to contact him or do anything to him, purportedly in the long run. Usher went out. Yet he and Kim used to remain on great conditions in the end. Kim chose to recount her story to the world, uncovering Diddy for who he truly was. You all expertise, she was composing a book about her life that would have uncovered Diddy. Well, purportedly, Diddy's circumstance with Usher was something that she planned to discuss inside sources, guaranteed that she planned to recount the tale of how Diddy sup. Sedley aid Usher as well as gave him herpes. Supposedly, this was likewise upheld by a visually impaired thing that became famous online. So what was in Kim's book? You need to hear it. Here it goes now. I can't verify or refute what's in this book. However, no one fits Natasha K. Me. So in this book, it points out point by point his associations with men. The film of those experiences had the names of the men he laid down with an infection. Purportedly, he gave an attendant an illness. This is simply insane, but something lets me know that it will be more insane when the federal authorities are finished with Diddy. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.